Hey guys, first I'd like to thank you for taking a look at my team's game, Blacksea Odyssey. I hope that you'll enjoy all the updates we have made since the last video. We have an awful lot to show you all today. At the start of the game, we go ahead and bring you into tutorial level, if it's your first time playing the game. We felt that with the introduction of so many new mechanics not often used in other games, a tutorial could be very helpful for new players. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump past this part, but I recommend you check out our previous deck demo if you're interested in learning about some of our base mechanics. Okay, welcome to the map screen. The first thing I'd like to show you here are some of the modifications we made to the level progression system. After doing some playtesting and getting feedback, we found that players were oftentimes frustrated with the amount of time it took to travel from level to level using the previous level progression method we had used. With that in mind, we decided to rework level progression into its current state. Over here to the left, you can see that we have multiple contestants that will be taking part in the Blacksea Odyssey contests. Each of the contestants will be competing for the biggest bounties as they progress in the game. Depending on which character you play and where you are as you progress in your current playthrough, your interactions with those characters will change. We are working on creating a dialogue system that is as dynamic as possible for the player so that it always feels like they're getting something new when they play Blacksea Odyssey. Over here to the right, and over here again right below us, represents the new ways players will have to select a level to progress to. In the future, Crystal, Desert, and Netherworld biomes will become available for the player to progress as well. Now, while this on its own is awesome and provides plenty of diversification, we wanted to make sure that the player has even more options to choose from. As you can see on the bottom left over here, there are a list of SAP modifiers in each biome. Depending on those SAP modifiers, the way a level is generated can be drastically changed. For example, we have enemy damage -21 and secret encounters -21 here. So in this level example, enemy damage will be increased, and you'd also have a less chance of finding a secret enemy. And then here below we have an increase of enemy health +2 and legendary drop runes +2, so you'd have a better chance of finding a legendary item, but the enemies you'd be fighting would also be healthier. So depending on these SAP modifiers, the levels will change drastically, and we have a list of SAP modifiers that's a lot longer than the one shown below, so we hope that this provides a lot of diversification in your levels. Now also, if this isn't enough for you, we have bosses attached to each level as well. Depending on the boss associated with the level, the bounty rewards for that level can change drastically, putting you ahead or behind in the competition. Of course, with greater reward usually comes greater difficulty. Lastly, I'd like to introduce you to our shopkeeper, Tabby. Tabby is our shopkeeper. Every time you complete a level, you'll be returned back to the screen in which you can buy and sell items to Tabby. The items that you have to choose from will be generated randomly based on how far you have progressed in the game. The further you are, the better chances you have of finding better items. Now, with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the game. Now, the first big change you should notice is the addition of a structural environment. Previously, we felt that our game space was too empty and it often left the player feeling lost. With the addition of structures, we hope to fix that as well as add some neat new gameplay mechanics. Believe it or not, all the environment is randomly generated every time you enter a node. In addition to that, all of the interactable objects on the structures are randomly generated as well. Let's take a closer look at this structure here. We've also added destructible sprites for all of the static objects in the game, including this one. Both the player and the fish can interact with and destroy the environment. Using the environment as a tool to help defeat enemies is a great way to turn a bad situation into a good one. Enough of that, let's find some fish to fight using our new sonar. If you look on the bottom right hand side of the screen, you'll see our new sonar system. Inside of it will be all of the structures on the map, as well as any nearby fish and fish nesting location. The green areas on your sonar represent those fish nesting locations. Enter one and they are likely to come after you, as has happened now. Here we'll go ahead and enter into this spawn zone. Now this smaller fish enemy type right here with the horn that just hit me twice is known as the ice poker. The ice poker is the fastest fish we have in the crystal biome. He nimbly races around his foes by launching to and fro from position around the player. The ice poker waits for the opportune moment to strike a nimble attack onto its opponents. Now the larger one that's been chasing me around is known as the ice charger. He hastily sprints past his enemies by using his aerodynamically designed body to outmaneuver his foes. After showing off its prowess in space, it fights to outmaneuver its enemies in battle, at a battle of wits and speed. go ahead and leave this biome, or this area here, and enter another spawn zone now. Using our sonar, this makes it very easy for us. Now here we have a frost puffer and an ice piercer. The frost puffer is the seemingly docile creature behind the one that is the ice piercer, floating around on its own. The ice puffer is the largest and slowest of the puffer genome. However, like most puffers, instead of spikes, he shoots out frost cones from his body. The frost cones expand as he moves, slowing the player upon impact. The frost also propels the frost puffer about chaotically, making it even harder to avoid. Now we'll go ahead and enter this spawn zone here, and it looks like we found one of the deadliest enemies in the biome, the Crystal Dragon. Crystal Dragon is the largest and slowest of the Crystal Jake genome. However, these enemies have the power to destroy the nearby environment in a matter of seconds with their powerful laser beam. Clearing a path to the player for all nearby enemies, it does so by firing a frost beam that both slows and damages the player, like it did here. Even if the player can't escape the massive beam, it can still force the player to become trapped by the environment or run right into the path of the other enemies. Well, there's an awful lot more enemies and creatures for you to discover in the Crystal Biome as well as our other levels, but we'd like for you to discover them on your own. So go ahead and check out our website, make sure you subscribe, and we'll be sure to send you a demo. And that's all. Thanks for watching.